This is For the Love of Every Note, a series on performance-related topics in organ music. Come and explore insights into phrasing, technique, and careful listening habits. I'm Joby Bell, your host. Thanks for joining me. Today we're looking at the Final from the set of 6 pieces by César Franck. The pedal solo at the very beginning is the main theme upon which the rest of the piece will be built. It will be very important to play this melody in the same style in which you intend to play the rest of the piece. Sometimes there can be a discrepancy between the tempo of the theme and the tempo of what follows it. A quick solution to this is to consider your preferred tempo for measure 29, and then begin the piece in that tempo. Franck notates some eighth rests in the opening measures. It will be important to observe these with absolute precision. If the rests are too short, they will make the notes around them sound panicked. If the rests are too long, the notes leading up to them may sound clipped, and the melody may sound too interrupted. Make it sound just right. In addition to the rests, there are also some dotted notes. You may choose to play these legato, but depending on the acoustics or your own musical instincts, it may be good to replace a dot with a rest. Franck himself indicates this approach later on in measures 207 to 211. The section from measure 13 presents a challenge for many players. Although this melody does not necessarily sound difficult, it can be awkward for the feet to play. The solution will be a combination of careful choice of tempo and careful pedaling. Here is how I play this section, slowed down for better observation. Measures 99 and following tend to slow down undesirably. One way to avoid that is to zero in on the melody, which is not only in the pedal, but is also a bit of a preview of the second theme of the piece, which begins soon after. Now simply layer the other parts over this and allow the pedal melody to guide the tempo. The second theme begins in measure 127. you will be faced with a lot of decisions between tying or breaking common or repeated notes. Here is one version with all common or otherwise repeated notes tied. Or this version with all common or repeated notes broken. It might be good to split the difference. Keep the melody legato and break repeated notes in other voices only occasionally. This way the motion of the beat will remain clear, but the amount of sound at any given time will remain fairly constant. In measure 173, the pedal has the melody once again. Again, use this melody as your tempo guide and simply layer the other parts on top of it. In the final section beginning at measure 360, it can be deceptively challenging to keep the hands and the feet synchronized. Sometimes the manual chords throw the pedal out of tempo, whether into a swinging rhythm or outright rushing. Be careful that the hands do not strike their chords early, and be sure to make smooth trades between manuals and pedal. This popular piece is both commanding and radiant. Enjoy performing it for the love of every note. Thanks for watching. Please visit my website often, and don't forget to love every note.